Grossi Posse Packer Nation. Welcome to an episode of Packast, the podcast where you don't have to be a Packers fan, but it sure does help. I'm your host, Tom. Just look upon the wreckage, Grossi. And yes, the Bears have traded for Nick Foles. Just soak that one in a little bit. And listen, I'm allowed to laugh because I praised them for signing Robert Quinn. That was a good move. They got an anchor for that defense. He's going to make quarterbacks' lives miserable for years to come. But I also got to laugh at you about Jimmy Graham and Nick Foles. Now, Nick Foles, you know him. You might love him if you're an Eagles fan. Former third rounder in 2012, 31 years old. Has been on a lot of teams at this point, has been to the Eagles, and then Rams, and the Chiefs, and the Eagles again, and then the Jaguars, and now he finds himself on the Bears. Last year, after winning the Super Bowl the previous season, signed a mega deal with the Jaguars. 4 years, $88 million, 50 of which was guaranteed money. Goes to Jacksonville, breaks his collarbone week 1. Minshew Mania takes over. The stash. Ugh. Little kids are like, Dad, who's that? And they're like, Billy, that's Jesus Christ. And Nick Foles would just shake his head as the blasphemy just came out of the Jacksonville Jaguars fans' mouths. And then he came back and he lost. So all 4 games that he started with the Jaguars, they all lost. So hence coming in with Jacksonville, who, that's a dumpster fire of an organization too, but they're coming in and they're like, you know what, Nick? Yeah, Minshew sold a lot of jerseys, so we're going to ship you up north. And for a 4th round comp pick, which really is not a bad deal for the Bears, number 140 overall this year in the draft. Now, they're going to have to restructure, the Bears are going to have to restructure his contract. Nick Foles is set to earn $15 million this year, almost another 15 next year, and then $20 million the year after, even though there was an out that was built in after this year for the contract. And it makes sense from the Bears' perspective. He's worked with Matt Nagy before. Matt Nagy has sung his praises before. And, it seems like that chemistry is there. The question becomes, what the hell is going to go on in Chicago now? Obviously, you have Mitch Trubisky in his contract year, in which many Bears faithful have not been happy about Mitch Trubisky's performance. Matt Nagy seems to not have been happy about it either. And you've had the front office for the Bears come out and say that Trubisky is our starting quarterback for this upcoming season. And I figured that they were just going to roll with him and just be like, all right, you have a year, prove it that you're worth an extension, and if not, bye. But it seems like the Bears are like nay about that. And so the ultimate question is Nick Foles coming in to compete for the starting job, or is he coming in for a backup? I have to imagine he's coming in to compete for the starting position of quarterback. And the optics of this don't look good. In actuality, they got value. Nick Foles is never going to light up a field or a stadium. You're not going to have a ton of people who are going to be like, oh my God, Nick Foles, except when he was literally in the Super Bowl for the Eagles and that little journey there. But I got to think that, his stats have never been amazing. He's been like a middle of the road, like decent quarterback, which, listen, that might just be what the Bears need, considering their defense is so dominant and they continue to add pieces to that defense. So that might be all they need there. But on the other hand, if this is like, okay, we're admitting that Trubisky is a bust and we're not going to roll with him anymore, I don't know. I feel like it just seems like there's a lack of consistency that's going on. You say that he's our guy, now you're saying he's not the guy because you're bringing someone else in. And I'm curious of what this new contract is going to look like. So in actuality, if anything, they'll most likely roll with Nick Foles. They'll duke it out in camp and see who comes out on top. The question is, though, okay, so Nick Foles, still a young guy, still 31 years old. Bears fans, are you okay with him being your future? Is he your future? I don't think he's the permanent answer at quarterback. Even when the Jaguars signed him, no. That's not going to be their oh man, this is our franchise quarterback. So I would argue that you still don't have one of those. So the question becomes, do you address it in the draft? Do you just say, hey, listen, we only have our defense for X amount of years, considering we're paying them a crap ton of money, that we need to just utilize them and say, hey, let's just get someone behind center who knows what they're doing and will be good to go? But either way, this doesn't look good on Ryan Pace, obviously for drafting Trubisky and trading up to do so. But yeah, this is a scene. This is definitely something. And so, yeah, I mean, the Bears, I feel like you still got some major questions at QB, but this might finally put the final nail in the coffin of Mitch Trubisky's time as a Chicago Bear. But I'm very curious to know what you think down in the comments below. I mean, I'll say as Packers fans, I'm not afraid of Nick Foles. Not even a little bit. Not even a tad. Yeah. And he's still got all those offensive line problems, so I'm really not concerned. But again, maybe you guys just need a middle-of-the-road QB that you could just take you. Because again, one of the positives of the Bears is that you don't have a franchise quarterback that you have to pay for. And because of that, you could spend the bulk of your money on defense. You know, if you wind up not re-signing Trubisky to a mega deal, which you would never do anyway, it would be like, you know, something low. I mean, it saves your cap. So, I mean, that's a positive. You look at like a lot of these teams, like look at like Aaron Rodgers and the Packers, right? We had to pay him a lot of money, so we're restricted in what we could do. It's going to happen with Patrick Mahomes, you know, Russell Wilson. It happens every single team that has a franchise quarterback that they're like, oh man, let's throw a crap ton of money at. It limits them in free agency. And so, you know, you have the luxury of that. So maybe it's time to go out and give Nick Foles a shot. But let me know what you think down in the comments below. You can always find me at TomGrossiComedy.com or at TomGrossiComedy on all social media. See down below. Check out Packast on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play Music, Spotify, and of course YouTube. And a big shout out and thank you to all our Patreon members over at patreon.com/TomGrossiComedy. But thank you so much for watching. I'm Tom Grossi. And as always, go Pack Go.